Okay, all aboard and welcome to the 25th installment of the Fox Valley Short Line Railroad, a standard career playthrough of Derail Valley Simulator. My name is Swift Fox, and I'll be your conductor and engineer for this evening's 2-hour journey on the rails. Please have a seat, get comfortable, and have your tickets ready. This train is now departing. Hello, folks, and welcome. We're here at Goods Factory. That's where we left off. And this is our 25th video for this playthrough of Derail Valley. So, what an accomplishment. I mean, we've been going for since last August, the end of, well, middle of the last August. So, what are we about 6 months in? And just let me just say that when you play this game normally, it you don't move this slow. I mean, I'm playing this once once a week for 2 hours, and sometimes I have to skip weeks. And we did that over the holidays, and once a month I have a meeting I need to go to. But so this don't take the pace that we're going as gospel. And talking about the pace that we're going, we are at the very end of the early game of Derail Valley. All right. And the goals that we have in the early game is to master operating the DE2, the DM3, and if you want, the S060, and navigate those across the rails from point A to point B, industry to industry, without a lot of issues. Another goal is to get the remote control and install helpful gadgets in your locomotives. Another one is to build up licenses. We started with shunting, then got the dispatcher license, the fragile license, the long train one, and concurrent orders one. And then after that, we added logistical orders just to broaden the uh, the freight haul types. Since we had long one and concurrent orders, sometimes having logistics made it easy to match up a freight haul with a logistics haul to one location. Nowadays, we're taking uh, freight hauls to different locations, and we'll drop off at one on the way to another. And that is, again, starting to get more comfortable with the game, with the equipment, with the railroads, with the layouts of each of the different industries. So it makes it easier to broaden your horizons and do things like that. Push your skills and your limits. Another is to locate all or most of the hulks of the demonstrator locomotives. And we just found the DE2 at Iron Ore Mine West in our last session. And I think we found everything now but the DE6 and the DH4. And there's one place we need to look while we're here, but we're going to do that in a couple minutes. And the last major goal in the what I consider the beginning stage of the game is to have half a mil in your wallet. And I'm going to go over why that is. To take the next step, to step into the mid game, you're going to want to move to the DH4. All right, and let's take a look at that. So we've got all of these, So the the DH4, which is right here, print that out. Take a look at it. The DH4 requires long train length 2. All right. So the DH4 costs 50,000 to unlock that license. So we're gonna put that. We'll put that right here to look at it. So we need the train length 1 or train length 2. All right, and that's 20,000. So that's 70,000 you need right off to unlock the DH4. All right, so that's 50,000 cost, 20,000 cost. Now, each of these adds 10,000 to your copay. So currently, our copay is 8,000. So now, to get the DH4, you're at 28,000. All right. So I know you've seen when I've paid the copays that it comes up with a screen that says, "Hey, it'll be cheaper if you had the license for manual service." Well, that's another 20,000, and you're going to want that because you're actually going to start saving money by doing the maintenance yourself rather than um, rather than using the career manager here and paying your copay. Now, this license drops your copay by 7,000. No, I'm sorry, I take that back. It adds another 7,000. So we were at 28, so that makes it 35,000. Okay? And while you're at it and you get the DH4, you should probably get the multiple unit license because you can run two DH4s back to back and run them from one cab using multiple unit because it has the little blue plug cable. The DE2 has it, the DE6 has it, and the DH4 has it. So neither of the steam locomotives, they don't have it, and the DM3 doesn't have it. All right, so that costs another 30. So between manual service, which is 20, multiple unit, which is 30, that's another 50 on top of the 70. So what are we looking at? 120,000 to unlock the DH4 and make it operable. Make it, what's the right word? Um, to have to get the most out of the DH4, you kind of need to have all of this. You need to have this to save money. You need to have this to run them uh, efficiently. All right, and that adds another 5,000. The multiple unit adds another 5, so that's 40,000 in one go. In 4 licenses, we've increased our uh, insurance copay from 8,000 to 40,000. So this will save us. This will save us a lot, about half of what it would cost to service the locomotives through the career manager. All right. So that's why I say you need to have about a half a mil before you take this step. All right, without completely blowing all the funds that you've made. And that's just kind of giving you a little slush fund in case you do crash or any number of other things. Um, and you'll want to buy some more gadgets for the DH4. All right. So that's what we're looking at moving ahead in our next episode or two. we want to make this happen. And the first step will probably be, getting train length 2. And then we will, once we find a DH4, we're not going to buy that until we get it, but we'll get train length 2 when we need it. And then when we find a DH4, we're going to buy the DH4 license so we can use it. We're going to get manual service, and we're going to get multiple unit. All right? And in that order. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Because we won't buy multiple unit until we get or find a second DH4. And I always run 2 of the locomotives. And we'll talk more about the dangers of this when it comes to matching up a larger locomotive with a less powerful locomotive, or a more powerful locomotive with a less powerful locomotive. In other words, AKA like matching the DH4 and a DE2. All right, and we'll go over that once we get into this later on. But I just wanted to show you where and that's, my opinion, find the game transitions into the mid game. And we play the mid game until we unlock the DE6 and start repairing and bringing back to life the damaged Demonstrator locomotives. And that requires the museum license. Okay? So I just wanted to go over that and let folks know what we're doing. So that's our goal, and we're going to start out by taking this $16,000 shunting job and move that around. Where did we come from with the other thing? I don't know that we're hooked up to anything. All right, so we're going to grab this, but we're going to take a moment, and while it's still light and not light too much anymore, we're going to run and check one last spot for a Demonstrator locomotive here at Goods Factory, which is supposed to be down here in the swamp. And there it is. That's the DE6. That's the Hulk of the DE6. And I just jumped down here and I'm lost. Oh, there we go. So here we go. The DE6 is right here. Sitting in the marsh. So we'll have to come back for that, but we'll make a note of where it is, that it's here. And what else is here is the S280 or 282, which I recall is on the other side. Yeah, it's right here. So the big steam locomotive is here. So both of our big locomotives are here in Goods Factory. So that's good to know. So we'll add the DE6 to our list, along with the DE2 we found last week. All right, so where is this? We need to pull it out of D6I, put it in the loading track, and then put the 3 cars away. So let's get that started. All right, this is what we dropped off. D6I is down here. Did we grab the, did we put the, yes. Put the brake on? Yes, we did. Alright, so we're gonna use our DE2. Take that out. Turn on our safety light and pull forward. It is on. That is on. Live, good to see you. Thank you again for the heads up on that. I like the splash screen, but sometimes I get excited about the stream and forget to turn that off. All right, let's hop out. Flip that switch. That switch is correct for the track we want. Pop our remote control on. And move some cars around. Yeah, they're all in bad shape. The DE6 and I think the big steam locomotive, I think each of those net about $1 million to refurbish each of those. So between each of the refurb jobs, you're taking trains around and continuing to make a money. All right, so we're going to take this, we're going to back it up that middle track. Goes up through the A yard. So get out to that turn, stop about the tree. And then back this into the loading yard, then we can turn the job in. Take care of the rest of it. Put all the empties away. Now I tend to keep both of my locomotives connected together. You can opt to take the time and park one of them. In fact, in the late game and mid game, you may do that because the wear and tear on these two locomotives isn't too bad, especially when you're still paying the copay and your copay is under 10 grand. But when your copay is like 28K or more, sometimes you'll just park one of the locomotives and just use one for shunting and then connect that back up. And that way you're not paying for wear and tear on two locomotives, one of which isn't moving. So it's an option. The DE2 is quite a capable little engine on the flat. And in most industries, except for the hilltop ones, the sawmill, the forestry central and forestry south, you don't have to worry too much about that. Okay, so we'll slow down here because we are definitely far enough. Yep, we are definitely far enough. Oh, we are still slowing down. The engine is probably down here still. Come on. Yep, I think I could see it. Nope, I can't see it. It's not quite at the crossing yet. Okay, so go in reverse. Bring it back around. And we'll hop on the back car and take it for a ride. So how's everyone's day been while I wait for the train to come back? Here she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. There we go. Oops. No! It's very dark up here. Okay, I can see that switch. It did set right. Alt. Those are the A-yard tracks over here, A2 and A3. The tracks the locomotives are on are also A tracks, and I just got slammed with the coal chute. And the next switch is facing the right direction. Good. If it was facing the other direction, it would lead right into the maintenance shed, which, as the game progresses through the next month, we will become intimately familiar with all the locations of where you service your locomotives. That doesn't mean you can't service your locomotive at the career center machine and pay your copay, but we don't want to. All right, the next switch is set right. It'll take us right into the loading yard. Cut back on the power. Hop off here and control our units speed as we bring it into the loading yard. I love the remote control. I am so glad it's in the game. Perfect. All right. All right, let's turn this job in, unload it, and then get it divvied out to where the other cars go. B2S, A3S, and A2S. Okay, good. Hopefully everything is in order. So we've picked it up. We are here at B1L, and our first strip of cars, 5, goes into B2S. So let's put that away. And we'll find those cars. We are unloading. Excellent. All right, let's see which car is at the end. All right, 747 and 747. Excellent. Do we have any flags on us? Do we have any flags in there? No. Okay. So let's go back and grab the flag. All right, so 5 cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Let's just double check again. 826. Oh, there's 6 cars. Okay. Hold on, I almost messed that up. Boop. Okay, so to the green car. Is there 2 green cars? All right, so, and B2S is, I think, this track here. Yes, and it is empty. How awesome is that? All right, so let's move up to pass this switch here, and then we can back them in. Break off, and let's go. Oh, I bet you part of this was over the hill. I'm making it though. Shouldn't be too much struggle. There we go. All right, so when we take these over to the A yard, we're going to have to put this remote control back on the charger. So these 2 brown cars continue with us, and we split at the green. I think there's 3 cars left. 1, 2, 3. We're on the clock now. I want to hear more. Click, click. Click, click. Perfect. All right, we'll back those in. These are pretty much aligned, so I can stand on the side. And watch them come back. Nice and easy. All right, we use the flags to mark where we're going to break. And that's just after this green car, which is just coming into view right now. Perfect. Stop. All right. Let's set this brake. Let's grab our flag. And then let's pull out. Forward. Forward, woo-woo. You know what I didn't do? I boo-booed. I boo-booed. I didn't split the cars apart. I boo-booed. I fix. Get ahead of myself. Now, don't forget to disconnect your cars, silly fox. All right, now we're good. Charging up. Good to go. All right, so we've dropped off those. The last car should go to A3S, and the car closest to us should go to A2S. So A3S is our next drop-off. And our remote control is charged up. Let's slow down here. So A2S is this close track, A3S is the far track, and both are open. So just need to kind of keep an eye on where the last car is. When we find this switch, that switch needs to go the other way. Set for A2 right now. There's the switch, first switch we need to set. That's where our last car needs to get past. It should be right about there. So we'll hop off. Flip that switch. come down and flip this switch. And that should send the first car into track A3S, which is correct. We have the remote control again, all charged up. So we'll bring her back. There's the sign. Is that the first sign? Yeah, I guess it is. Now you definitely want to be careful pulling into these 2 yards because there's not a whole lot of room between. I think there's enough room for 2 cars on this side track. Perfect. I'll just double check. Where's the number on this car? 895. 895. Perfect. All right. Where's the switch? That is the switch. Okay. All right. Flip that over. We'll go stand here. We'll back it back in. It's not raining. Stars are out. Brake on. Where's the brake? There it is. All right. We'll scoot our way back to the office and turn this bad boy in. Completed. 13 minutes. We had an hour to do it in. Almost 25K as we estimated. Which brings our total. We should be at 478. Excellent.